Safe to say Shawne Merriman knows a thing or two about ball in the NFL. After a standout college career at the University of Maryland, Merriman taken 12th overall by the San Diego Chargers, where he wreaked havoc for so many years. He was lights out for the Chargers defense, of course, creating nightmare after nightmare scenario for opposing quarterbacks, recording nearly 40 sacks through his first 3 seasons. Look at the throwback video there as we welcome in the man of the hour here to HQ. Shawne, thanks for being with us, spending some time. I'm going to talk about your Chargers, but before we do so, I know you got a new media project out there, Lights Out Sports TV. So just tell us a little bit about what you've been working on.
Yeah, I just launched Lights Out Sports TV, which is a free ad-supported all sports platform that we just launched about 30 days ago. So currently we have great partners on there, World Poker Tour and TNA Wrestling, Outdoor America. And I just wanted to create something, for one, that was free, but two, that everybody that loves sports, that you want to just go through, you don't have to sit through 300 plus channels. Go to Lights Out Sports TV. It's available on all your Roku, your Apple TVs. Vizio will be up next week, the Amazon Fire, iPhone. So anyway, download Lights Out Sports TV. We got a big fight next Saturday at Casino Palma in San Diego. Lights Out Extreme Fight 17 will be live on Lights Out Sports TV. So appreciate you guys for downloading that.
Yeah, download it. Get locked in. I got to ask you as well, just kind of as a follow from there, give us the backstory of your nickname, Lights Out, because clearly that means a lot to you to name a business after it. So just tell us the story behind that.
Yeah, I knocked out 4 kids in one game my sophomore year in high school. And, I didn't plan it, right? It wasn't like, hey, call me Lights Out, but they ended up calling me Lights Out. That name stuck with me. But having a name like Lights Out was like a basketball player at Rutgers, right? Like, you got to go out and be Lights Out now every week in and week out. So that name stuck with me. I got this light switch of the light switch of my right forearm, so that's how the Lights Out dance was formed, man. So everybody, I still see people doing it across the street when I walk outside. So
that's fun. The little the tattoo as well. That's very clever. If you had to give us a couple other nicknames from the NFL, maybe that you're like, dang, I wish that was mine, or I wish I would have thought of that, what would it be? Who would it be?
It's tough. It's hard to pick whatever Lights Out.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's my name. It's like it's a tough name, but man, it's so many nicknames. It's like generic nowadays, right? Like I don't know. I don't have a nickname that's out there. I think I gotta have that one. I think Lights Out top.
Lights Out. We'll let you get some time to think on it. Megatron is what came to my mind. If I had to have a nickname, I'd probably think Megatron. But I mean, Lights Out, the light switch, like that is very unique. That is something that I wouldn't have thought of. So kudos to you for getting that situated. If we talk about the Chargers going into this season, Shawne, obviously wasn't the year that they expected to have last year. A 5-12 finish. They missed the playoffs again for the 4th time in the last 5 seasons. Things are sort of changing, though. They've done a lot in the offseason, bringing in Jim Harbaugh first and foremost there. What do you like about the fit with Jim now that he is in charge of your former team?
It's great, right? Because I don't think the Chargers fans had this level of excitement. And I hate to say it, maybe the time that I was there, those teams we played on with LT, Lorenzo Neal, and all the great players I got a chance to play with, I don't think this level of excitement has been around the organization for a long time. And I was texting Coach Harbaugh, Jim Harbaugh, we were texting last week. And I really just thanked him for bringing this new identity, right? Like he comes in and you can feel his presence on day one. It's not like, hey, we need to sit around and rebuild and figure it out the next 2 years. Oh, we're going to be good the following year. No, he came in because this is what he does, right? This is his history of coming into a program, organization, and changing things right away. And you start to feel that. If you're around the Chargers organization, you're feeling that right now in his presence since day one when he stepped into the facility and on the field.
If we look at your side of the ball, of course, the defense, it was not a great year for LA on that side. They allowed about 20 points a game last season. Teams converted on 4th down on 47% of their chances. So obviously that means there's room to grow. And when you have guys like Khalil Mack with 17 sacks in year 10, that should fire you up. So in terms of the defense going into this season, who needs to step up here, especially when you think about the competition in their division?
Yeah, look, I mean, it was so big for not only Khalil Mack to come back, but Joey Bosa. There was a lot of talks with him during the offseason about possibly going to another team. So have those guys back is unprecedented. But also, too, health. I think that health is, these guys need to be on the field at the same time. If you look back at the last a few seasons, they haven't played much because either Joey Bosa was out or Khalil Mack was out. I'm looking for Derwin James to get back in the mix again. That was Derwin is one of the best, if not the best safety in the game. And I don't think he's been in a position to go out and make the plays because there's no continuity. There was no identity to that defense. And I think that now, with Jim Harbaugh coming in and establishing this new mentality that they have, Derwin James is going to be back in the mix. He'll be back to being a top-notch safety. But more importantly, Thule, the young pass rusher there, I think that he's going to come in and do great things. But health is number one. These guys need to be healthy on the field at the same time.
Coming off of an injury that ended his season last year, a foot injury. So obviously you want to see him bounce back because you know what his potential is. Before we move on to the offensive side of the ball, I got to ask you, if you look at the quarterbacks that are playing currently, is there a guy that you would just like be itching to sack in the NFL this year, and tell us why?
Probably Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, and my thing is I always wanted to go after the best. And that's as a defensive mentality, as a defensive player, you want to see the best of the best, and you don't get much better than Patrick Mahomes. So to go out there and just watch him from a distance, and I played against the Ben Roethlisberger, the Tom Brady's, I played against that whole group, Eli Manning, and I've been through it, right? So when you start to see the new wave of quarterbacks and new potential Hall of Famers, you start looking at guys like Patrick Mahomes, man. You want to get after him because you can measure yourself where you measure yourself at as a defensive player by getting after a guy like Patrick Mahomes. So I would say him.
Yeah, every single player that I talked to when I was at the Combine earlier this year, when I asked them that same question, like 90% of them said Patrick Mahomes for all the reasons you just explained. If we continue the quarterback conversation, we know Justin Herbert is the guy in LA. He just signed that big second contract. At one point was the highest paid quarterback. What excites you about the potential for Justin Herbert? And again, going back to Jim Harbaugh being his head coach.
To be honest, the most exciting part about Justin Herbert and his new coaching staff is stability. People don't talk enough about how many offensive coordinators and systems Justin Herbert had to learn over the past three years plus, right? And when you have a revolving door of coaches that come in with a different system and they want you to do a different thing, you'll find as a defensive player or quarterback or wide receiver, you can figure that out. But a quarterback, it's almost like learning a new language, right? And so for Justin Herbert, even has the years that he's had. I know he didn't play that well last year, so I'm not giving him a pass. But also, we know that he can play. We know that he's a bona fide baller. We know he can be one of the best in the league. But I don't think last year, because of the team success not playing well, he got an opportunity to do that. So I'm more excited just for him having stability. I think that he hasn't had that in the last few years or so.
Yeah, you see what it did for Baker Mayfield in Tampa, just having a coaching staff that believes in him and some consistency, although he just also got a new offensive coordinator. But regardless, a lot of things to look forward to for the Chargers. Shawne "Lights Out" Merriman, thank you so much for your time. We will check out your new sports platform as well. Thanks for being with us here on HQ.